Last time in Drawabox Z.
So I thought I would start a new little project for this channel and post an almost blog type video series on my experiences with the Drawabox online course. Hello and welcome. I am Ash Mannix and this is Ash Mannix Draws, and this is part 2 of the Drawabox Z series. Dun, 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 dun. So yes, this is part 2 in the series. In the last episode of Drawabox Z, I completed lesson 1 for Drawabox. And in this one, we talk about the 250 box challenge. So in the last video, I'd introduced the course and I'd went over the reasoning for why I was starting this. And I covered my opinions as well of lesson 1 and the feedback I had gotten. So if you haven't seen that already, do give it a watch. After completion of the lesson, I was prompted to start the next part, which was the 250 box challenge. Oh man. So the idea, surprisingly, is to draw 250 boxes. You're supposed to draw them in 3D perspective. And you're supposed to draw through the boxes as well, so it's almost like an x-ray. You can see the whole frame. And after each page of boxes that you've drawn, where they recommend you draw about 5 or 6 per page, you draw lines out from the kind of edges to see that they're actually converging at the 3 vanishing points that you've used for the box. And yeah, you just repeat that 250 times, ad nauseum or whatever. So my approach was to split up the work over a 2-week period, because there's a 2-week cool down between homework submissions. This is only if you're actually submitting the homework to get official feedback from Drawabox, if you're paying for the Patreon and getting credits for all that. So in that 2-week period, what I decided to do is I thought I'd split it out evenly, but in the beginning I ended up kind of front loading the work and when I started off, I tried to do like 60 boxes in one day, which was painful, absolutely painful for me. I don't know why, but it took me absolutely ages. What I was trying to do is get a certain number of boxes down so that I'd only have to do about 3 pages of 6 boxes a day after that. Now each page was taking me about 30 minutes to do, and it was just like mentally, I understand why they kind of warn you about how difficult this course can be. I found it quite tiring just doing 2 pages, never mind 3. And I did try to do a whole bunch of boxes when I had some over, like during the weekend, stuff like that, when I had more free time. But I eventually got it done. And it was an absolute mission. I did feel like I had climbed a mountain mentally, in a sense, even though it doesn't sound like much, but I'm not much of an artist, so yes. So I submitted it, and after not too long a time, I think a few days, I got some feedback, and I had done okay. In the feedback, they had said that I had shown improvement over the course of the challenge, but obviously I'd made a few mistakes, well, quite a few mistakes, where my lines were diverging instead of converging. One of the other issues with the homework is that I hadn't used line weight which is what they recommend you in the instructions, to try and use line weight to show the outline of the box, to make that clear, and make it easier to kind of see and understand where the outline is, and then the internal kind of lines are. I didn't do that because I just didn't have the mental or physical energy to do that on top of drawing the boxes and then drawing the lines out to the vanishing points and then trying to like improve on each iteration. So yeah, I chose not to do that, and I knew that was going to be something to mention. You don't have to do it. It is an optional thing to do. So they did say that. But in terms of my opinion, it was really hard. Oh, and I had to fucking soldier through it. The pain. I was questioning my life choices, man. But actually, I think that was part of the point of the challenge, and I think they do talk about this, in the kind of instructions and description for the challenge. So, like, I mean, the idea is like you just draw lots of boxes, and assuming that you are looking at the kind of mistakes you're making and try to improve, by the end of the challenge, you do get better. I don't think they expect you to be an expert by the end of the challenge, but definitely to have to feel more comfortable with drawing boxes and different orientations in 3D perspective. And I think I did. Like, I think I'm a bit better than I was when I started, and I do think that's important. I also think that this is a bit of a test to see if you are dedicated enough to carry on with the course, because I am assuming that the course gets harder as you carry on. And I feel like this was a bit of a test to see if you have the kind of mental endurance to be able to do such a task. I wasn't expecting it after lesson 1, to be fair, straight after lesson 1. So it was interesting that they gave it to me after lesson 1. But yeah, so I am not looking forward to the next lessons after this, if they're harder. But I think one of the things that really helped me was spacing out the challenge. The temptation was there to just try and do everything in one sitting, and I knew that if I tried that, I would have burnt out and just given up. The fact that they give you a 2-week cooldown period between submissions of homework. So what happens is when you've submitted the homework, after it has been marked and you get feedback, from the time of submission, there's a 2 weeks cooldown. So not from the time of getting feedback, but from the time you submit the homework. And I think that is that really does help, because I would have been tempted to just carry on straight after and then submitted it as soon as possible. They've talked about this previously in the course as well as to why they do that, and I agree with them. It is a good thing to do. So what that did was give me some time to space out the work. Also, I have work and other commitments in life. So like, obviously I can just like put 2 whole days straight into drawing boxes, and that's probably not a good idea either. So spacing it out, even though I did front load it a bit, really helped. And I do think doing it in multiple sittings where you're trying to think about the mistakes you've made and learn from them between each sitting really is a good way of approaching it. I probably shouldn't have front loaded it as much, and I did fall into the trap of being like, I don't care anymore, I'm just going to try and just churn these out more until I'm done. Just want it done. But I still think I did actually improve on at least in my confidence in trying to draw 3D boxes in various orientations. And I'm talking now, I've already started lesson 2 at this point, but and it did help. It did help being able to draw the boxes, because you do have to do that going forward, and it is the fundamental kind of shape that you use to help build up other things in the course. So yeah, it was good. I had improved a bit. The feedback had said so. I did make some mistakes. I did look at them, and I'm trying to take them into account going forward. And now it's on to the next steps. So next steps, lesson 2. And I can tell you, I've already kind of like started lesson 2. Oh yeah, there were some some things there that made me go. So yeah, look forward to that video in the near future. But for now, I do feel it's the stuff that I'm learning, the stuff that make me do it is important. So and I do feel that I'm improving, at least in my confidence and taking a pen and marking paper, like that simple process. Before I was very, I'd always be wary. I'd always use a pencil. I would never use a pen to start drawing things, and I don't really draw things in pen. If I do stuff, I'll do it digitally, or if I'm doing it on paper, it's pencil. So this is definitely helping me in that and confidence in that, and I do feel that I'm gaining something from it. So I'm actually, even though I am a little bit nervous about the lessons coming up, kind of slightly optimistic, hoping to see how much I improve over the spans of the course. So hopefully this was of some help to you. I don't know if you're if you're going through the course yourself, do leave a comment. I mean, are you thinking of attempting the course? Are you going through the course? Or did you just fall into this video randomly? What do you think? Would you, if you're not someone doing the course, would you be tempted to? Do look at my previous video talking about lesson 1 that kind of goes over it, if you are interested. And if you are doing it, how are you finding it? Are you further ahead? Have you given up? I'd appreciate any comments on this down below. But for now, I'm Ash Mannix. This is Ash Mannix Draws, and I will see you next time. Bye.